Good evening, one and all. Wish you all a very happy Holi. So today we will discuss about the Gauss law of electrostatics. Gauss law states that flux coming out of a charged body is equal to charge content in that body. By the application of Coulomb's law, we can determine the electric field intensity. But Gauss law will be much more easier to apply to determine the electric field intensity. So, but there are certain limitations. Gauss law can be applied for determining the electric field intensity if we can construct an imaginary Gaussian surface. Second thing is that the Gaussian surface, on the Gaussian surface, the electric field intensity, so that is applicable if the we are able to determine the electric field intensity. That means the electric field intensity at any point should be either tangential or normal to the surface. So these are the limitations of Gauss law. So first of all, we'll write down the mathematical expression for Gauss law. So it states that the flux coming out is equal to charge content in that body. So basically the electric flux is represented by psi and the charge content is Q. Now psi can be written as surface integral of, this is nothing but surface integral of dds is equal to Q. Now you see, in place of d we can write down, so this is equal to epsilon 0 into E into ds is equal to Q. So we can write that the surface integral of EDS, the surface integral of EDS is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed, because as epsilon 0 is a constant that can be taken out, and if we will multiply that one and if we take it to the right hand side, it will be 1 by epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed. So literally speaking, we can say the surface integral of electric field over the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed. Now we will go for the derivation that psi is equal to Q. For that we can take a spherical coordinate system, and having said that, I want to tell you this derivation is applicable, or this derivation is there for the BTech students, those who are studying the electromagnetic theory, but this proof is not there basically for the plus 2 students or those who are studying the CBSE 12th class. Now we go for the derivation. Now if we will take, as we have told, that psi is nothing but surface integral of dds. Now in place of d we can write down Q by 4 pi r square, because you are taking a spherical system, so it is equal to Q by 4 pi r square. And ds, for a spherical coordinate system, the area can be represented by r square sine theta d theta d phi. So now r square can be cancelled, so it will be Q by 4 pi, as this is the constant, this can be taken out, so it will be integration of, so this will be surface integral, and this will be sine theta d theta, and this will be d phi. So the limit of theta in spherical coordinate system, it tends from, so the limit is from 0 to pi, and this one is from 0 to 2 pi. So if we will integrate this one, by putting the limits we can get integration of sine theta d theta is nothing but minus cos theta, so this will be from 0 to pi, and integration of d phi is nothing but pi, so this will be from 0 to 2 pi. So by putting the limits we can get Q by 4 pi, this will be, if we put the upper limit, this will be minus cos pi, that is cos 180 is minus 1, so minus of minus plus 1, plus cos 0 is again 1, and if we put the value of phi, that means the limit of phi, it will be 2 pi. So it will be Q by 4 pi into 4 pi. So we can see that whatever we have told, that means the statement that the flux coming out is equal to charge content in that body, that is being proved. Now we'll go for some applications of Gauss law. So first of all, we'll apply that one So Gauss law can, as I have told you, Gauss law can be applicable if we are able to construct the imaginary Gaussian surface. Suppose we are taking a charged wire, infinite charged wire, so that means the electric field E for an infinitely charged wire. Now suppose for this one, if you are taking the wire, the imaginary Gaussian surface will be cylindrical, because we know that the wire will be in the shape of cylindrical system. Now whenever we are going for construction of the Gaussian surface, it will be an imaginary cylinder. Suppose this one is D, this one is D, you can take this one is D, that is the radius, this one is suppose H. Now you see, if we will take this part of this elementary surface of the Gaussian surface, this one, the flux will be leaving, this one is the, you see, the area vector will be normal to this one, and the flux will be the direction of this one, the flux density vector will be like this. For this one also, the area vector will be like this, and the flux density vector will be like this. If we take the surface of the curved one, so D and ds directions will be same. That means the angle between them is 0. So that means the flux will be leaving. If we will take the dot product of D dot ds, as the angle between them is 90 degree, so D dot ds will be D ds cos 90, and that will be 0. That will be 0. That means flux will be leaving mainly through the curved surface. So if we will take that one into consideration, so we can write that D ds is equal to Q. Now this one, suppose having said that, let this charged wire is charged with the charge density of lambda coulomb per meter. Now if we will take this one into consideration, as the angle between D and ds vector is nothing but 0, so it will be written as simply dds. So D, in place of D we can write down, so it is D into ds. What is the area? So area of this curved surface will be 2 pi d into h, so that is equal to Q. Now in place of D, so I can write D is equal to D into 2 pi d into h is equal to lambda. It is lambda charged with lambda coulomb per meter. So if we will multiply the height, it will be lambda into h. So now cancelling h in both the sides, we can get D is equal to lambda by 2 pi d. So D, we know that D is nothing but epsilon 0 into electric field intensity. So that is equal to lambda by 2 pi d. So from that we can get E is equal to, that means the electric field is equal to